So Tracy, let's go ahead and get started. At Aged, we are a nonprofit organization, and our primary business is managing special needs trusts. All of our clients have some sort of disability, or they are elderly, and they need to qualify for government benefits, primarily Medicaid benefits or SSI benefits. And so that's all we do. We live and breathe the government benefits. And sometimes we do help people apply for Medicaid and actually do the application if they have very limited funds. Maybe the account is only receiving income on a monthly basis and we're spending it out, then we will do that. But it's also very important for Aged to understand what benefits our clients are on. So we're very involved with the application process and viewing things in DCF, see what kind of benefits our clients are on. There are many different types of special needs trusts. We're not going to talk about that today, but we do have other presentations on trust if you're interested. Next slide, please. There are many different types of people that need Medicaid benefits. We help a lot of people that can't afford their medications. This is typically your senior crowd. Maybe they're on Medicare already and they need Medicaid to help reduce the cost of their medications, or their copays or their expenses when they go to the doctors and the hospitals. Of course, Medicaid is for long-term care benefits when you're in a skilled nursing facility. Sometimes when you're in an assisted living facility, you may be lucky enough to get off the waiting list and receive home and community-based services Medicaid to help pay for the assisted living facility partially, or to help pay for services at home. We also help a lot of people who are younger, can't work because of a disability. They're on Social Security disability benefits and need Medicaid to supplement their benefits, or developmentally disabled adults. So again, this is what we live and breathe. We're going to talk today about the application process, options for applying, with emphasis on the online applications and what you can do for the online application, information that's needed, how to get started, and a little bit on programs. And Tracy's got some good tips for you later. So again, Tracy's been with us for several years here at Aged and has a lot of experience doing this. And just know that we are here to answer questions for you at any time. So Tracy, and take it away.
Thanks. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And actually, just wanted to say one of the reasons we wanted to do this is because we deal with a lot of guardians and other folks that call, and they're just intimidated by the process of applying for benefits for their ward or for whoever. And it's not that complicated. It's not that hard, but you do need to kind of know what you're doing, what you're looking at. So the ways to apply, you can apply in person at the local office. And to the right here is a screenshot of the website, the DCF website. You can go on there and find, see right here, it says find local offices and fax. And for your county, find the office that you would need to go into. I will say, if you are going into an office to file an application, please call them before you go, because they do not have fully staffed office to do applications. They generally do it by appointment only. So probably the person that's there may not be able to help you. And then you can fill out a paper application. You can grab the paper application on the DCF website as well. You can download that. With the paper application, you can apply for just about any benefit. The application is 8 pages long. I think 12 pages prints out. And you can mail that to DCF, you can fax it, or you can submit it at the local office. And if you actually go into the local office, this is what they'll do, is probably fill out the paper application, or they may have a computer available to you to walk you through the process of doing the application. So the emphasis today is going to be doing the online application. It's the Access Florida website, myflorida.com. And in a second, I will take you there. But this is what it actually looks like to get started. And with online, you can start the application. You can actually start an application and save it. Say you don't have certain information, you can save it and go back to it. I think you have 48 hours to complete it, or they say that it will delete your application. I have actually started an application and gone back a couple of days later, and it's still there. And you will just pick up where you left off. But you can check on the status of an application once you have filed the application. It'll generally say pending, or if there are documents that they need, that information should be in there, or the notices that they've sent out on what they need will be in there. You can also view the benefit information, request additional assistance. So say if somebody has QMB Medicaid and they need ICP Medicaid, you can go in there and request additional assistance and just submit that, whatever change that is, and they will send you a notice of what they need for that particular benefit. You can report changes and complete an eligibility review or a recert. And hang on one second. I have not done this before, so I'm going to try sharing to get to the website. And are you guys seeing the internet? No? Okay, hang on one second. Now are you seeing it? Okay.
Tracy, you may need to just refresh your screen, your sharing.
Okay, I did that. Sorry, a second. Gold is to the rescue. 3. Uh-huh. Oh, okay. Okay, now you should be seeing the internet. Okay, so we're going to go there. Thanks, Ulda. So I actually have it bookmarked. And if you do this often, you should probably do that so you don't have to go through the DTF website. But let's go through the DTF website. And yours may or may not look like this depending on the browser. I know if you have Foxfire or some other different one, it may look a little bit different, but it will still be the Department of Children and Families, myfamilies.com website. So then you would go to apply online and check status and apply for benefits. And it'll take you to that landing page to start the application. So to apply, to do a totally new application, you go to apply for benefits. And there's a lot of information here. Initially, it seems intimidating. It's not. Just take your time and read it. It won't time up on you unless you take a long time. And then a box will come up to tell you you're about to time out, and just hit continue, and it'll continue the time that you have. So start a new application or finish an unfinished application. So we're going to go to start a new application. Next. And you have the option to log on using your existing account. And that's if you've already set one up, you're doing a recert or whatever, then you would click that. But we're going to go to create a new application. So in order to file a new application, you have to create an account at DCF on the My Access website. So to hit next. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to take you through the whole process. I'll take you as far as I can go. And then obviously I can't use somebody's personal information that would be a violation of their privacy. So the things that they want are your name, address, social security number, the date of birth, the address that they're living at or the mailing address. And this is a little sticky. If you have somebody that's a ward specifically, and you are the guardian, you need to get the notices. They don't need to go to the facility. So I would put the mailing address, whatever address you want the notices from DCF to go to, put that address here. Then you have to create a username and password and set security questions. And there are a whole bunch of different security questions that you can ask that would be specific to your person. And they have different options for each one. Fill that out, how you want to receive your notices. They give you a couple of language options here, mail or email. I will say if you get an email, then that will stop any notices from going out paper. So if you need them to go somewhere else, in addition to come to you, you need to have it go by US mail. Then you accept the agreements, excuse me, and the user agreement. To take a look at that, there's the user agreement. Just read through all of the information that they have there. I will say if you don't agree with whatever and you decide no, you will not get Medicaid. You have to agree to this in order to go any further. And obviously, because I have not filled it out, I can't go any further than this. So let's get out of that. And I'm just going to take you to, if you already, I clicked on create an account. If somebody already has filed a paper application and you don't have online access, then you can click that, set up an account, and just fill in the information. It's the same type of information as personal information, name, date of birth, but you need a case number here. So, and then same thing, set up a username and password, set up security questions. And I will say, write that username and password down, because if you forget, you're spending 2 hours on the phone to try to reset it. This does not have an option for you to print this, but if you right click, you can print a PDF or print out a hard copy and then just write what the password is on it. The password will be blacked out, but you can just write it on there and you should be good to go with that. So hang on one second and let me go back to oops, sorry. Okay, so I think I switched my screen there. Denise, are you seeing the presentation? Okay, so we're back to this. So when you create an online profile, you are able to view the person's eligibility history. And this is if an account has already been set up for them. After a case has been assigned to them, you can go in and view their eligibility history. And this is what that screen looks like. It'll have their case number, it'll have their name, but all the benefits that they've ever applied for, been denied for, enrolled in medically needy, whatever. If they have ICP, their patient responsibility will be listed there. And so you'll be able to go back and see what benefits they've had historically. You can also upload documents or do bill tracking. And if we have time at the end, I'll show you more specific information about uploading documents. That seems to scare people a lot. But this is the introductory screen for uploading documents. You can also report changes. And what type of changes do you need to report? Obviously, if they've changed a location, if they move from facility to facility, from a group home to a home, whatever, you need to change it, go online and change that. Otherwise, you'd have to fill out a report a change form and mail it to them or fax it to them. If they've had a disability, change in their disability status, change to their income, change to their assets, any kind of medical expenses or health insurance. And the one exception to this would be the dental. If somebody's in a nursing home, the dental insurance, generally the dental plan for the facility will fill out the change and have DCF approve it before they start sending you an invoice. They should. If somebody has a change in insurance, a vehicle, they buy real estate, they sell real estate, or change in business assets, someone's moved in or out of their home. If somebody has housing expenses or utility expenses that have changed, and generally that's for somebody that's on SNAP, the food assistance program. And of course, any other personal information. And this is what that screen looks like for reporting changes. So in order to do a new application, you'll need somebody's social security number, their date of birth, income information from all sources. Some people think it's just social security. It is not. If they have VA benefits and they have aid in attendance, make sure that you get a VA breakdown letter, because that part of that may not be aid in attendance. It may be some other kind of pension that they're getting, and only the aid in attendance portion is not countable by DCF. You'll need resource and asset information. That's bank accounts, annuities, vehicles, home information, if they own land in addition to their primary home, life insurance, funeral contracts, any of that information you would need before you start. Housing expenses if they have SNAP, because they don't consider that if you're just applying for medical. Health insurance information, you'll need the policy and the number and the plan info, because that is one of the things that they ask. And it is mandatory that you input that information or you can't go any further. And that's one of those instances where you would need to save the application and get the information and come back and finish it. If they are not a US citizen, you would need the green card information or their citizenship information, excuse me, the country of birth. And if you're creating an account for an existing Medicaid case, like I showed you, you would need the case number. So to apply for new benefits, go to myflorida.com, access Florida. I think that's a backslash. So then you do start a new application, create an account, create user ID and password. And I walked you through that process on the website already. If all goes well, the system will confirm the user ID and make you log in. It'll kick you out and make you log in with the username and password that you just set up. So if you see this, when you're setting up the account, it says an account with this information is already in our system. If you've forgotten, you can click here. So that generally means that, sorry. That means that we run into this all the time with somebody's in a nursing home. Somebody at the nursing home did an application online, or maybe they set up an application and they don't remember that they've set this up. So there are a couple ways to get around that. You can talk to the person, and those security questions, you can click on forgot user ID or forgot password and ask that person the security questions. If they can't answer it, which a lot of people that are in nursing homes or senior citizens don't remember what they did, or maybe somebody else set it up, then the only recourse you have is to call DCF and have them give you the original sign on, and they'll reset the password, and then you have to reset it again. But you will need to send them the designated rep form or guardianship papers or whatever, or have that person there with you when you call them. And unfortunately, that's probably going to be an hour or 2-hour wait to reset that. In this case, if you see this and you cannot get the person to be with you to go through the security questions, I would do a paper application and fax it in. So once you get started on the website, there are 5 sections: getting started, assets, income, expenses, and finish and submit. So when you're doing in the getting started portion, you do put in information for all the people in the home. And it's personal information for each member of the household. Generally, if you are dealing with seniors, it's just going to be a married couple, the husband and wife, maybe a disabled child in the home too, that you would have to enter that information for. But remember, if you are, that person is a part of the household, then you have to have their income information and all of their information as well. And they will give you a spot to put in information for every single person in the household. Then you move on to assets, and you need to enter liquid assets like cash on hand and bank accounts, and then other assets, stocks, bonds, trusts. And if you have a trust, like a special needs pool trust, then you would need to put the trust under other assets. And yes, you absolutely need to report the trust, even though the assets in the trust are not countable by DCF, they want to see it. If there's another kind of trust, maybe a third-party trust, then you need to report that in that spot as well. And then you move on to the section for income, and it's all sources of income. And again, you have to do this for every member of the household. And then expenses. Generally, if you're not applying for food assistance, it's not counted as in the calculation for medical benefits, excuse me, for Meds AD, for QMB. So they don't ask a lot of questions. And every section that you get to ask more and more specific information. Then you go on to finish and submit. And at any point during the application, you can exit and save and come back to it when you have the information. If you're afraid you've done something wrong, exit and save, and just go back to it again, or you can just exit and it will automatically save. You don't have to tell it exit and save. You can just dump out of it, but it'll save to the point where you left off. So which program should I select? This confuses a lot of people. Excuse me, it's all programs, food assistance or the SNAP program, cash assistance, medical assistance for children, their parents, caretakers, pregnant women, and individuals who have aged out of foster care that are under 26. So these, the SNAP, cash assistance, and medical assistance for children and parents, generally people that deal with seniors won't have to check those boxes. We generally deal with medical assistance for the aged, blind, or disabled, medical assistance for individuals in nursing homes, assistance for individuals seeking waiver services, hospice, and hospice generally does their own applications, but and the Medicare Savings Program. So this is just that information again, broken down. Again, these first three, you generally won't deal with that much unless you have somebody living in the community and you will want to apply for food assistance. But remember, food assistance has its own, it's a different program and it has its own set of income limits for people. So you have to look those up as well. So medical assistance for the aged, blind, and disabled, again, MedsAid or medically needy share of cost. There's ICP Medicaid for individuals in nursing homes. For individuals seeking waiver, it's HCBS, hospice, and then all of the Medicare savings programs fall into under one umbrella. That's QMB, SlimB, QI1, and QDW1. So as you were going through the application, we are on this would be the assets portion. I pulled a screenshot from that. So I just wanted to show you how it drills down. They ask you about cash, bank accounts, liquid assets. So on this, I would check liquid assets. If I checked liquid assets here, it says check the box for anyone who owns any other liquid assets, including stocks, bonds, trust funds, etc. So you would check that person. And then on the next screen, it would take you to a drill down of what specific liquid assets there are. And then you would check for our trust. It would be a qualified Medicaid qualified trust. There are other options here. And then it would take you to a different page that drills down even further to specifics about that Medicaid qualified trust. So how much it is, or how much is in the trust, who's the trust with, the account numbers, is any of this designated for burial, and is it jointly owned? And then they always want to know if there's another trust or another bank account or whatever. So that's how it drills down. You answer the question, drills down, then drills down again. So do take time to read the questions. These are my tips for you. I have a lot of tips because the system has a few quirks. And as you do more applications, you will know more about the little quirks that it has. So after every section that you go through, the income, the assets, whatever, there's a review section that goes through every single question that you've asked. And look at those and make sure that that information that you've entered is correct. If it's not, there's a chance to change that. There's a little X and there's like a tablet with a pen. Then that means you can edit it, you can fix it. Or you can delete it. And if you delete it, it'll make you delete it twice. So like, are you sure that you want to delete this information? Then as a final review, it goes through the whole application, all of the questions that you've answered, the bank accounts, the trust accounts, the car, whatever, all of that information will be on that final review. And that's another chance to correct a mistake that you made. And this is important. At the end of the application, there's a little box that asks for additional information. And that's your chance to add a note to the application of any pertinent information. Like for us, when we do applications, we always put information about the aged pooled special needs trust or whatever kind of trust they have in that box for whoever is reviewing it. Maybe they missed that information. So it's just a chance to tell them what specific information I want them to know, and maybe they'll go back and read, or they'll know that they need to address that. If the question, there's a question on here, has the disability been decided? If they're on SSDI or have ever been on SSDI, if Social Security has deemed them disabled, then check that box, which means that DCF does not have to do a disability decision for them. For insurance, life insurance, you need the face value and the cash value. So if somebody has a $10,000 policy, it's a whole life policy, they've been paying into it forever. The cash value could be $8,000, could be $2,000, which of course will disqualify them because that is counted as part of their assets. So you need that cash value letter so that you are sure that they are qualified and DCF is sure. And you will need the policy numbers for each life insurance policy they have. If they have term life insurance that has no cash value generally, so you still need to put that down, and they'll want to see a copy of the policy where it says that this is term and it has no cash value. Any mandatory items on the application online will have a little red asterisk by it. Anything else you can skip. They ask a lot of questions that are not mandatory. And honestly, if it's not pertinent to what you're doing, I just skip through those, but the ones with the asterisk are mandatory. It will not allow you to go any further if you do not fill those out. So if it's saying, and it'll tell you, if you try to click next, it will tell you, you know, you need to fill this out, you need to fill that out. Selecting home and community-based services waiver as an option for the benefit that you want. If you have not been released from the wait list, don't select that option because it'll be denied. You have to have been released from the wait list in order to apply for home community-based services waiver. Or if you are going through APD, generally APD does their own applications, but you have to have something saying you are qualified for HCBS waiver, or it will be denied. And also at the very top of the programs that you can select from, there's a box that says all programs. You know, if I'm qualified for whatever, just select the program for me. Don't do that. Don't let them, if you're applying for QMB, select the box that says Medicare Savings Program. If you're applying for ICP, select the box that says applying for nursing home benefits, because generally the people that do get the applications don't necessarily look at all of the information carefully. They'll just look at your income, and if you're not in their income bracket, then they will deny it. And you may have a trust or have something else. So if you know what program you need to apply for, select the specific box that you want to apply for. Or if there are a couple, then select a couple instead of all programs. Renewals are done annually for most programs. I know people that are on SSI don't generally have to, they automatically renew them because they can verify those benefits. If that's the only benefit they have, they can verify that. But other people will have to do the renewal just about every year. If they have SNAP, the SNAP renewals are done differently than the medical renewals, which is incredibly dumb, but that's the way they do it. So generally with SNAP, they, or food assistance, they do it like every 6 months. They may do it annually, but 6 months is generally what they do. If you fax something to DCF, if you do a paper application, or for whatever reason you can't upload documents through the My Access website, put the name and case number on each and every page. And that's a pain, but if you don't, you run the risk of things being dropped into somebody else's case or being lost. So just as a safe measure, put the name and case number on the page. If they haven't sent you the notice of case action and you want to, with the case number on it yet, and you want to go ahead and fax that information, put the Social Security number on the page. Just make sure that you're faxing it to the correct place. So once a case number is assigned, you'll be able to upload the documents to the case. And I'm saying name the documents so you can identify them. And if we have time, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about with that. So uploading is the way to go. If you have to fax anything to DCF, anybody that's ever faxed, you know that I've done it refax like 5 or 6 times. And so if you can get online and set up a profile and do the application online, then uploading is the way to go. Oh, here we go. So hang on a second. Oh, we only have 8 questions. I was going to answer questions, but let me just go ahead and go through the uploading documents. So once you have set up a profile, created a profile for somebody, and you log in, then you will be able to upload documents. So again, if you have an existing case, you can upload right away. If you have a new case, then you have to wait until the case number is assigned, because they will attach that application to the case, and all of the documents for that case will be available for you to see what was uploaded or what's in the file. So when you're going to upload, hang on one second. Okay, I'll have to go back to that page. Going to upload, if you see where it says benefit summary, case information, you would click on the upload and view documents, and that will bring you to this. Then you select the reason, either it's going to be bill tracking, a new application, or change information. Here are the options for documents. Sometimes they don't have the exact document that you're uploading, like guardianship documents. That would be legal and court records, or sometimes it could be other. It just depends on what specific documents they are. But then you would hit click on choose a file. Then you need to access, it'll bring up your computer, and you would need to access whatever C drive, desktop, whatever you have your files on. Find the document, and you'll click on open, I think it says, and it will add it here, and you'll see the file name where it says no file chosen. Then you click add, and it'll drop it down to this area at the bottom. And but that's your opportunity to look and make sure that that is the correct document you want to upload. Once you hit save, you will no longer be able to delete that, take a look at it or anything. But you keep doing that until all your documents are uploaded, hit save, and then you can close it. So uploading, when you upload, it drops it directly into their file. This is, excuse me. You can see where it says cash value letters. That is a file that I uploaded. I named it so that I can identify it. And you'll see it's blacked out on the end because we put the person's name there. So you can make sure, tip when you're uploading, you can make sure that that's that person's information and not somebody else's. Because once you load somebody else's information in a file, then you can't delete it. And it may be there for a while and create some issues for you. But if you see where it says faxed, there's a control number. It was faxed and there's a control number. This is 58 pages of documents and 38 pages of documents. What is that? I don't know. I don't know. Well, I know because I faxed it. And when I fax, I tell them specifically what I'm faxing to them. And that way I have a record of it. But it's just beneficial for you if you can identify the documents that you're uploading. I've had people say to me, well, that wasn't submitted. Yes, it was. That cash value letter was submitted on 7/26 of this year. It was 3 pages. And a lot of times there are especially if somebody's been on Medicaid for a while, there are pages and pages of documents they have to go through. That's helpful for them too. If you can say, look, I uploaded it on this date, it's this many pages, it was at this particular time. And instead of them having to go through one fax file to look through all the documents. So if you log on, you've created a profile, they have sent you the case number, and you log on and you see this first part where it says my applications and you see nothing else. This just allows you to look at the notices, any appointments you have, your verifications, and what the status is. You will not be able to upload. You will not be able to look at what benefits they have because that is basically attached to, it's giving you partial access. The one on the bottom, the part on the bottom is access to all of the information that's on that My Access website. You can look at the benefits information, any application that you filed, any changes, applications that you filed. You'll actually be able to click on My Applications, find the application that you were looking for and print it out. You can also print out the application when you're doing it. When you complete it and submit it, it will bring up the application and you can print that out or save it to your computer. But this gives you case information. You'll see that you can upload and view your documents. Any notices, if you click on My Notices, it'll pop up any notice that you have received or that was sent out. Any verifications that are needed. And if you go to the My Benefits part, you'll see where it says Details. Click here, it'll bring up the history of all benefits. And that's especially helpful if you have ICP to see the patient responsibility. And then at the bottom where it says My Renewals, it will have a date for the next eligibility review. which is helpful because sometimes the notices don't go out, or the notices will go out to the facility, and where they end up at the facility, we don't know. But people don't get the notice, and then their benefits have lapsed. So it's having access to the website is very helpful for most people. So hang on, we're going to go now and see if I have some questions. So, okay, I have a question that says, what is the max amount allowed in a local QIT bank account to be eligible for Medicaid? Does this account have to stay under $2,000? Okay, I don't think that there's a limit on the QIT. And remember that a QIT is a qualified income trust. The money that's in that account, because there's a Medicaid payback, is not countable by Medicaid. So it doesn't have to stay under $2,000. Personal bank account or personal assets, period. The personal checking account, personal savings account, cash value and life insurance, stocks, bonds, all of that has to be under $2,000. The money that you have in a pooled special needs trust or a QIT is not countable by Medicaid. Okay.
Tracy, this is Sharon. I would like to add to that. And I did put in a written response, with the income limit for Medicaid for nursing home, $2,523 gross income. The concept on the qualified income trust is that you're only putting income into the trust. So you're not supposed to be putting, like if you have $20,000 in savings, you're not supposed to open up a QIT and then put the excess $18,000 into the QIT. It's not an accumulation trust. You're only supposed to be putting your income into the trust. So the Social Security, pensions, etc., continue to go into the checking account. You set up a transfer from checking into the QIT. You don't have to set it up for the full amount of the patient responsibility or the income, but most people do, because what you're going to do then is turn around and pay the nursing home right out of the QIT. That's typically how it works. And by doing that, when you're transferring from checking into QIT, you're reducing your countable income. Okay, so that's basically what you're doing. But I'm not an attorney, but it's my understanding you're not supposed to really accumulate, funds in there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a comment, funeral arrangements have to be irrevocable. Actually, if the funeral arrangements are not, if it's under the asset limit, then some people have just like a cremation account and they have no funds in any other bank account. Then if the value of the funeral arrangements is low, it doesn't have to be irrevocable. Or if you can also designate the funeral arrangements as fill out that designation for burial form that DCF has, and that can be up to $2,500 that you can designate that funeral arrangement for. But usually we try to make sure that the funeral arrangements are irrevocable, but if it has a low value, it does not have to be irrevocable if it's not going to put that person over the asset limit. If my client lives with my daughter, do I need to add a personal information for your daughter on the application? Okay. Client lives with my daughter. Well, that depends. It depends on a few things. And I don't know if people know how households are counted. And I actually have a link to the information on how households are counted. You can actually have 3 separate households for the in one household. So if the person is applying for your client is applying for home and community-based services, then no, her information, income information does not, and asset information doesn't need to go on the application. She's not applying for benefits. She doesn't need to go on the application. Can you go back to the previous screen for a moment? That was Patricia. Patricia, can you put in what you needed to take a look at? And I'll go back to that. Okay, at the beginning of the application in step 2 for rep payee, they're asking for information of a person. However, our guardian is a company. What? Oh, wait, okay. Step 2 for rep payee. There's nothing on the form that asks for rep payee. Rep payee is specific to Social Security. When you do the application, you're doing the application for that person, as that person, the beneficiary of Medicaid. It's not your information. It's not the guardian's information. It's whoever's going to be on Medicaid. It's their application. So you're not putting in your personal information. So I'm not understanding. Sharon, do you understand what the question is?
It seems like they are saying that they're trying to put in like the guardian's information, and the guardian is a company. Does the guardian or the person, representing that, ward, is their information go on the application anywhere, Tracy? Because rep payee should not go on there. You're not applying as rep payee. If you are a guardian and you have rep payee, you would be applying as guardian. Okay.
Right.
But would the guardian information have to go on the application?
No, it does not. The information, completely the information that you're putting on the application, paper application, online application, is information specific to whoever is going to be receiving Medicaid benefits. When the DCF sends you the notice of case action that says we need the following information, then that case you would need to send them the guardianship, the letters of guardianship, or any of that information, but you don't need to put that. That is not something they ask on the application. Can I have an account titled funeral account for up to $2,500 and it is not counted? Yes, and you would need to fill out that designation of assets for burial form that DCF has, and specifically put that account on there, saying that it's for that, even though it's titled, however, it is titled at the bank. They don't care. It has to be on their form, or they will count it. I had a ward whose Social Security income was $12 over the limit, and that was put into the QIT. Okay. Yeah, if it was for ICP or home and community-based services, they don't care. If it's $5 over, they don't care. I know it's a waste of money to have to set up a QIT for $12 a month, but them's the rules. So would you leave the rep payee section blank? I don't know what rep payee section you're talking about. There's no rep payee section on the Medicaid application. So like I said, rep payee is specific to Social Security. And so again, the application is for the beneficiary of Medicaid benefits. So, and that question was from Mr. Silverberg. You can send me an email or give me a call, and I can see if I can better answer that question, because I really don't know what you're talking about. There's no rep payee section on the application. Okay, and if we don't have any more questions, okay. All right, so let me go to the next slide. Actually, I wanted to show you guys something. I've got helpful websites here. Apply for benefits on the My Florida, the Access Florida website. And here are the two links that will take you there. The SSI related programs, that's the financial eligibility standards, which obviously you need to know before you apply for any benefits. Medicaid related fact sheets explains a little bit more about each program. The food assistance program fact sheet, there's a link for that. And again, the food assistance SNAP program has a different income limit, and you need to take a look at that. Here's the link for the household composition. That gets a little tricky because it has to do with tax rules and how that Social Security rules are set up, and Medicaid rules are kind of go hand in hand with that. But that's a good presentation to take a look at, so you understand more about the households and how the household is counted. And then there is an Access self-service portal training on the website. I'm going to try to switch again to take you there. So, okay, are you guys seeing the internet again?
Yes.
Okay, so if you go to the My Florida Families website, there is a training page. And right on the training page is the Access Self-Service Portal training. And let's just click on one of these. Okay, so it tells you a little bit about doing the application, making changes, creating a new application. So if you feel that this was not helpful to you, that might be more helpful. I've taken a look at it. I don't think it's very helpful at all. If you have no information, it's helpful, and it's minimal, but it is there. So again, that's on the My Florida Families website. And I would just, there are, under general information, it's under DCF training. And that'll pull up this page where you can, there are other trainings that are actually for the DCF employees, but just to let you know that that information is there so that you have another resource for that. So now we're back to our websites. And I'm going to throw it back to Sharon so she can go over the AGED webinars that we have coming up. And if you guys have any questions, absolutely, you can give me a call, send me an email. My email address is tracy@trustagent.org or benefits@trustagent.org. And always happy to answer questions about the applications. Just remember, it's okay, take your time. You can't do anything wrong unless you put it in that somebody has $1 million and they don't. And things can be fixed. If you do make a mistake, you have opportunities to change that information on the application. So I hope it's been helpful. And back to Sharon.
Tracy, thank you very much. I hope everybody got at least a little tidbit out of that that's helpful to you. We do have some upcoming aged webinars. The next one is about the difference between special needs trust. So not only the pool trust, but the qualified income trust we'll talk about, the D4A and third party trust. The ABLE account presentation we're making is in conjunction with John Finch, who runs the ABLE United program for Florida. That date has been changed to September 14th. That will be on our website, and potentially something in October. Tracy, if you could flip through the next couple slides. Guardians, please remember to email your OPPG number to golda@trustagent.org, and everybody will receive something from Golda within the next week or so. And the last slide has our contact information. So thank you very much for attending once again. We like to be a resource, so don't hesitate to call us. Thank you very much. And yes, we will be sending the PowerPoint presentation along with the information that Golda sends, and a link to the presentation also.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.